This segment sponsored by Perfect Pup. Perfect Pup works one-on-one with your dog towards the specific training goals that you want for your perfect pup. And joining me today is Don Kimes, the owner and dog trainer. Hello, Don.
Hi, how's it going?
Good, how are you doing?
Thanks for having me.
Yes, okay, so congratulations on starting your business.
Thank you.
This year, very exciting. So start off by telling me, what made you start a dog training business?
Well, I've been volunteering for dog training at Midwest Akita Rescue Society for almost 2 decades now.
Wow.
Been having lots of foster dogs come in and out, training them, getting them ready for potential adopters, and then helping out friends and family. And then one day, somebody told me, Don, you should do dog training as a business. And I really love working with dogs and helping people, especially the troubled ones, get over their issues. And I says, you know what? I think I will.
Yeah.
And that's what got me into starting Perfect Pup.
Awesome. And so there's a difference between dog training and dog etiquette, right?
Sure.
So, okay, so talk to me about that. What's the difference?
Well, what I see dog etiquette is a dog that's going to behave when guests and other people are around. They're going to behave for you when you're having a trouble spot. Whereas dog training is just teaching them some basic commands, obedience commands, sit, stay, down. And all that stuff is important for dog etiquette as well.
Right.
But we want to be able to apply that dog training of sit, stay in a way that they're not going to be messing around with you while you're trying to cook. They're not going to be running out the door when the guests arrive. They're not going to be jumping up on everybody. And so that's the part of the dog etiquette that makes it just takes the basic obedience to the next level, so to speak.
Yes, and when you are trying to instill those fundamentals of etiquette, what age range can you really start? Is it from an actual pup?
Yeah.
Is it from birth? Talk to me about that.
Well, I think the youngest client I've had sign up for is about 3 months old.
Okay.
And I've got several people call me for puppies all the time.
Yeah.
And it is great to instill those good behaviors at a young age. And I've got some pups that are 5 months old, 4 months old that are doing wonderful, and people think that they're much older than they are because of how well behaved they are.
Right. Okay, let's talk about dog reactivity.
Sure.
What is that?
Dog reactivity is just basically how a dog will, it gets mislabeled as aggressive a lot of times.
Okay.
A dog aggression, dog reactivity. They bark and they pull. They might even try to bite. And so dog reactivity can be aggressive. It doesn't have to be, but it's just, usually it's a fear-based response from the dog. And we teach them and show them how they can get past that fear-based reactivity and turn into a dog that is good with other people, good with other dogs, good with cats even.
Oh, well, I know that you said that you loved a challenge, and trying to really work with those troubled dogs. And so do you have an example of maybe a situation where a dog was acting out and you were able to rope him back in?
I do have several examples, and this even dates back to when I was just doing volunteer work for the rescue.
Yeah.
But a lot of these dogs we get in come in with problems that are not adoptable, whether they've had a bite history or they just don't behave in the home. They're destroying everything in the house. And they're ready to give up the dog, find a new home for it, take it to the animal shelter, and I can step in, work with them, show them some training stuff that they can get past those issues, and the dog can stay in the home. That's the ultimate goal at Perfect Pup, is to make sure that your dog, even the troubled ones, we can fix the issues so they don't have to go to a different home.
So I know that you have here a couple of dog collars, and typically they're used for different reasons, but you're kind of reworking the use of them. So talk to me about these dog collars and what are you doing different?
Sure. So this is your standard training collar, otherwise known as a shock collar in the community. And it's got these little prongs that will send an electronic stimulation to the dog. However, this is usually known as a negative reinforcement tool, a punishment, so to speak. However, what I've come up with is a way to use these collars in a positive only way. No shock. No way in which the dog is going to be harmed or feel any negative effects.
Okay.
This is a collar from eCollar Technologies. It's a pager-only unit. You'll see there's no prongs whatsoever. And we can use the vibrate and the tone as an opportunity to reward with a treat or affection.
Oh, so it kind of gives a little buzzy sensation as
Yeah,
opposed to an electric
absolutely.
shock. Okay.
You may have heard of clicker training. That's something a lot of people are very familiar with. But this has a tone on it, and we can substitute the tone for this for an actual clicker. And by doing so, the dog can be across the field. We can hit the tone. They're going to come running back to us for a treat.
Oh, so it's an alert thing you're saying. So if they feel that tone, then they know, oh, it's something positive that's about to happen.
Exactly.
Okay, I see how
Instead
you
of
flipped
what
it.
the traditional method is something negative.
Yeah.
So even
Okay.
people that own these shock collars can remove these contact points, maybe put a
Okay.
piece of electrical tape over it, and they can use it without having to purchase a brand new version like I have here, the pager only style.
Yeah.
And get positive reward action instead of negative consequence.
Yes, that's great. I mean, that really makes sense. Okay, so let's talk about distraction training. What is distraction training?
Distraction training is getting your dog to perform the stuff that they already know. Sit,
Okay.
stay down. But in an environment where they might not want to listen. Like a crowd of people or a dog park or just anything like a squirrel. You know, how
Right.
dogs always see a squirrel, they're always fixated on the squirrel. So we take those opportunities and we put the dog in those opportunities and we train them to sit and stay during a distraction or a
Okay.
fixation, if you will. And so that way, when a real life scenario comes up in which there is another dog, and this helps with reactivity as well, there's another dog, there's another squirrel, there's a crowd of people, our dog is going to listen to us.
Okay.
We have to practice with the distractions. Being able to sit in your home is not enough. They need those distractions so that we can train them how to listen to us
Yeah.
during those distractions.
So tell me, Don, is there a true difference between how a dog is trained and the breed of the dog that's being trained? How do those two work together?
Most of the fundamentals apply to all breeds.
Okay.
But some dogs they take a little bit longer to learn. Some dogs have more issues with barking than others. Some dogs they just don't get it quite as fast. That's just like a human.
Yeah.
Not all children develop education the same, and dogs can be very similar in that regard. But I've got some stubborn Akitas myself, and they can be very
The dog
difficult.
is called Nikita?
The breed.
The breed is called Nikita?
Yes, it's similar to a husky. It's in that same working
Yeah.
breed family. They're very stubborn dogs.
Yeah.
But I've trained them for almost 20 years now, and actually training some of the other breeds has been a lot easier compared to most Akitas. But again, the process very similar. It just takes longer with some dogs than others.
That's great. Okay, so we covered a lot of good training options. Do you offer any other type of training?
We do behavioral training, aggression, reactivity. We do a lot of basic obedience training, and then we focus on distraction training to make sure that we get over all the issues that the clients are looking for.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much. That was very informative.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Yes. And if you would like more information about Perfect Pup, we'll have their website listed below, and I'll see you after the break. This segment sponsored by Perfect Pup.
Have an idea for the show? Want to find out how you can be a guest? Contact us at livinglocal15@wayne.com.